We're here to talk about this debate, and we have one of the, I guess, the fight promoter himself, Vocab Malone. I think it'd be great if people could get some insights in how we got to the debate. Like, how were you able to get these two individuals to get in the squared circle and do what they do?
I don't know if you guys remember, Dr. Brown had put out a challenge, like any Hebrew Israelite to debate me, all debate, type of thing, right? Any kind of leader, anybody. He was mainly looking for leaders of the groups, not just a random person. And he had put out a video on it. And I think I had seen that video already, or was it the title or something like that. But then someone was like, hey, someone told me, I can't remember who, GRLA Hebrew accepted the challenge. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what's up? And they sent me the link, and it was like, yeah, I accept the challenge. But I thought it was unlikely that Dr. Brown had seen it or knew who GRLA Hebrew was, right? So he accepted the challenge, but there was a gap between. And I was like, well, I guess I know both parties, I got their information. Let me see. Okay. And I knew I'd be kind of stepping into it, because if I start the ball rolling, who's going to see it through to completion? It's going to be this guy. So I said, all right, Lord, if we'll see what's up. So I hit him up. Let me see when this was. May. Yeah, like back in, hold on, that can't be right. Oh, I'm sorry, December. So in December, I was looking at the previous message, back December 8th, I made contact. I think I first hit up Dr. Brown. I said, a guy accepted. If you're interested, he's a viable candidate type of thing. He's like, yeah, let's work it out though. And then so after I had talked to him, hit up GRLA Hebrew, and he's like, all right, let's see what's up. And so first, I think we had a phone call conversation. Not all of us, but just, me and then each one. And then Dr. Brown sent a ton of topics, all these different topics that he was like, I'll do this, I'll do it. He has like a grip. I mean, I could, if you want to see the list, it's like it's substantial. It was cool that he had this many ideas, whatever. And basically GRLA Hebrew was like, nope, this is the only one I want to do. But then they had to work that one to make sure they both agreed to that. Because originally, I think GRLA Hebrew was more just like, what about Ashkenazi Jews type thing, right? And Dr. Brown was like, well, what about this 12 tribes chart? And so I was telling both of them, like, yeah, this makes sense, because that way you're each defending something. It's full orb, not just Ashkenazi or just 12 tribe chart. So that's how it got put together like that. And then it was just working out the details. And for the most part, it was pretty smooth. Never had any places where it looked like it was going to fall apart or things went crazy. But, it does take a lot, though. Just getting all the pieces and, and communication, it does take a while, because it was schedules. When Dr. Brown first accepted the challenge, he was in India. And then they did the day before the actual debate, he was in London. So he's like literally. And so it did work out though. And then there's just a lot of discussions, what platform, what format. And everybody was pretty compromising, so it wasn't hard other than just the normal thing of it. No. But as far as setting up Hebrew Israelite debates with Christians, because I've done a few, it was arduous and long and detailed and tedious, but as far as the frequent self-destruction that happens or almost on the brink of falling apart, that never really happened. So everybody involved was pretty cool with it. There's a couple times I was even worried, like, oh, this isn't going to work. Like someone will put out a video, about one thing or the other, and I was like, oh, they're probably going to back out now because of this video. But everyone kind of stuck through it. And even afterwards, now Sakari itself, I can't say responded good. In their reviews, they're immediately name calling. And now I haven't seen Al-Azhar's reviews. I've seen Hassad and Hakah. But even in the aftermath, because sometimes immediately in the aftermath of some of these debates, it's like, well, we did the debate, peace out, now I hate you. People get like that. It wasn't, as far as with Al-Azhar, specifically only him, hasn't been like that. And we're talking about potentially doing some things moving forward as well. Not as big just yet, smaller things just to kind of keep momentum and whatnot.
Right.
And so that's good too, because it's like, okay, well, is there potentially some long-term working relationship potentially for well, maybe. And I think it might encourage other people because the last thing I'll say, because I know I'm jumping ahead, I just got through texting with Captain Tazariak, and I'm not talking about him debating Brown, nothing like that. That's not what we're talking about at all. But maybe it's like a model or template where people are like, okay, this could be done, we could be decent and pull this off, because there hasn't been a lot of that. And so maybe there will be some of that now. That's what I'm hoping.
Hey, the kinder, gentler, confrontations are always good, And Dinu, what did you think of this particular confrontation between Dr. Brown and Gorilla Hebrew? Like, what was your initial thoughts after you saw the debate?
Maybe I had a lot of initial thoughts, but one thing I'll say is that it was really good to see a professional debate, right? Formally done, timed, sticking to the times, everything about it, because we know that sometimes debates like this definitely aren't professional. I was glad to see that it was done on a platform where the moderator and the platform itself wasn't noticeably biased, and you didn't have a moderator who was jumping in the debate with clear-cut bias towards one side. So that's what I'll say about that.
Cool. The Dr. Brown Gorilla Debate Review.